What is happening beneath the ground? The night before this sinkhole appeared in Bogo, residents nearby reported hearing strong, impact-like sounds beneath the ground. By early morning, the surface had collapsed. Blue-looking water was visible inside the opening. And over the following days, the collapse continued expanding. As of the evening of August 23rd, local observation indicates that about 8 coconut trees have already been swallowed along the moving edge. This is Barangay Guadalupe, Bogo City, in northern Cebu. When authorities first responded, the opening was reported to be around 15 meters wide. A 20-meter safety perimeter was established. 3 houses were reported nearby, and 1 occupied household was advised to temporarily evacuate. The Mines and Geosciences Bureau inspected the site on August 22nd. But the main geological questions are still unanswered. How deep is it? How far does the unstable ground extend underground? Where is the water coming from? And why is the collapse continuing to grow? Much of Cebu is underlain by limestone. This matters because limestone can slowly dissolve as mildly acidic water moves through cracks in the rock. Over long periods, those cracks can widen into underground channels and cavities. Above them, the surface can still look completely normal. Trees can grow. People can walk across it. Homes can stand nearby. But if the material above a cavity loses enough support, the surface can collapse. And the first collapse may not be the last. If surrounding ground is also unsupported, sections of the edge can break away and fall inward. That provides one possible explanation for why a sinkhole can continue expanding after it first appears. It may also help explain the impact-like sounds reported before this collapse became visible. Material could have been falling underground before the surface finally failed. But that has not been confirmed at this site. The water is another important clue. Karst cavities can intersect groundwater or underground drainage. If a collapse reaches that system, water can become visible inside the opening. But its appearance does not prove that there is an underground river or a large cave beneath this location. That requires investigation. Bogo also has an important recent geological history. On September 30th, 2025, northern Cebu was struck by a magnitude 6.9 earthquake. 5 ALCs later linked the earthquake to the newly identified Bogo Bay Fault. The event produced destructive shaking, surface rupture, liquefaction, landslides, coastal deformation, and numerous sinkhole collapses. During subsequent ground validation, the Mines and Geosciences Bureau documented at least 70 sinkholes across northern Cebu, including 16 in Bogo City during that stage of the survey. Many occurred in limestone or karst terrain. Strong earthquake shaking can destabilize ground that already contains fractures, cavities, or weakened material. But this does not mean the 2025 earthquake caused the new August 2026 sinkhole. That connection has not been established. A sinkhole can be influenced by several interacting factors: limestone dissolution, groundwater, rainfall and drainage, existing cavities, weakened overlying material, previous disturbance, and sometimes seismic shaking. The purpose of the ongoing investigation is to determine which of those factors actually apply here. And because the sinkhole is still changing, the underground extent may be more important than the hole we can see from above. The visible rim does not automatically mark the beginning of stable ground. A section that appears solid at the surface may have weakened support beneath it. That is why the restricted perimeter matters. This is not simply about preventing someone from falling into the opening. It is about staying away from ground whose condition has not yet been fully determined. The next answers must come from the geological investigation. Scientists need to determine the depth and shape of the cavity, the condition of the surrounding limestone and soil, the source and movement of the water, and whether additional sections remain vulnerable to collapse. Until then, the strongest conclusion is also the simplest. A large sinkhole has opened in Bogo. It has continued expanding. The geology beneath Cebu provides a clear mechanism for how underground cavities can develop and collapse. But the exact cause and full underground structure of this site are still being investigated. What appeared suddenly at the surface may have been developing underground for much longer. And until we understand what is beneath it, the safest approach is to respect the restricted area and let the geological investigation establish what the ground is doing. This is nature forces, science, not speculation, preparedness, not panic.